Hi, and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. My name is Nick.
And my name is Chris. And Nick, what do we got in store today?
Well, today, Chris, we're going to be taking a look at the charges against Ripple and the two executives. Basically, the SEC clowns have been, charging and throwing their toys out the pram about. So we're going to dive into that and we'll see what's going on there. Hopefully, you find it entertaining. And if you do, definitely go ahead and smash that like button for Chris. He really does appreciate it. And if you're new to the channel, do go ahead and subscribe. By subscribing, you will be kept up to date with all the videos and live streams that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. Right, Chris, shall we jump on over to what's going on from the SEC, find out what's going on with this 1.3 billion, and then take a look at the XRP chart and see how this has had an impact there as well.
I feel like the man at the ticket office for the circus, Nick. Let's just get straight into this one.
Let's do it. Right, so here we are, right? The SEC charged Ripple and two executives with conducting a $1.3 billion unregistered securities offering. Right. So, I mean, they're just cherry picking at this point, just trying to figure it out, aren't they? But the Securities and Exchange Commission announced today that it has filed an action against Ripple Labs Inc. And two of its executives, who are also significant security holders, alleging that they raised over $1.3 billion through an unregistered, ongoing digital asset securities offering, right? And it's alleging that this has happened. So, let's see how this all plays out, shall we?
8 years in the making.
8 years in the making. Well, there you go.
Wow.
So,
who's the criminal, really? Who's the criminal?
I know. So, according to the SEC's complaint, Ripple, so Chris Larsen, to those, who know him probably better than the SEC, the company's co-founder, executive chairman of its board, and former CEO, and Bradley Garlinghouse, as they formally announced him here, the company's current CEO. So, raised capital to finance the company's business. The complaint alleges that Ripple raised funds beginning in 2013, so 7 years, I guess, through the sale of digital assets known as XRP in an unregistered securities offering to investors in the US and worldwide. Okay, so Ripple also allegedly distributed billions of XRP in exchange for non-cash considerations, such as labor and market-making services. So according to the complaint, in addition to structuring and promoting the XRP sales used to finance the company's business, Larsen and Garlinghouse also affected personal unregistered sales of XRP totaling approximately 600 million. The complaint alleges that the defendants failed to register their offers and sales of XRP to satisfy any exemption from registration, right, in violation of the registration provisions of the federal securities law. So to be honest with you, it just sounds like they're just trying to find something, and then you're going to try to tug on a thread somewhere. So straight away, it feels pretty loose, doesn't it, Chris? I have to say.
Yeah, loose is just an understatement. And I know that this is like the third sort of bit of content that we've done on this, but it is new to the stuff that we've covered previous, right? And I kind of feel like there's a lot of people making a big deal of this, and I don't want to make too much of a big deal, but it is a circus. It feels like a show, and the US is pretty much the only country that I'm aware of that still is considering XRP as a security, even though it doesn't pass the tests used in order to deem it a security. So yeah, it's a worry.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately they're going after the initial, right? They're going after the initial money and not the stuff thereafter. But anyway, so let's see what's going on here. So issuers seeking the benefits of a public offering, including access to retail investors, broad distribution, and secondary trading market, must comply with the federal securities laws that require registration of offerings unless an exemption form registration applies, and that comes from the director of the SEC's Enforcement Division. And we allege that Ripple, Larsen, and Garlinghouse failed to register their ongoing offer and sale of billions of XRP to retail investors, which deprived potential purchasers of adequate disclosures about XRP and Ripple's business and other important long-standing protections and the fundamental to our robust public market systems. Right, so straight away they're basically just saying it's just a load of nonsense, to be fair, isn't it? I don't think anyone was buying XRP thinking that they were getting, some kind of stake in Ripple. I would really find that hard to believe, but nonetheless, let's continue here.
Because the likes of Binance are doing that all the time, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
All the time. And Coinbase.
Yeah, absolutely. So the graph could be watch that one. So let's see what's going on. All jokes aside. So the registration requirements are designed to ensure that potential investors, including, importantly, retail investors, receive important information about an issuer's business operations and financial conditions. And that's the Deputy Director of the SEC's Enforcement Division, because, of course, they're going to be backing up the Director of the Enforcement Division. That's where they just come up with some really fun name titles there. But here we allege that Ripple and its executives failed over a period of years to satisfy these core investor protection provisions. And as a result, investors lacked information on which they were entitled. Okay, so that only really applies if it's a security. So let's see what else is. That's exactly it, right? It only applies if it's it. Yeah.
And Ripple have been asking for clarity on what XRP should be deemed as, right? So, you can't not give the answer and then say that it's a security 8 years or 7 years, I think you said, after the fact. I mean, that's just criminal in itself.
Right, yeah. So the SEC's complaint filed today in the Federal District Court of Manhattan charges defendants with violating the registration provisions of the Securities Act 1933, and I'm pretty sure that probably needs an update, and seeks injustice relief, disgorgement, and prejudgment interest, right? So, and civil penalties, So whatever comes of this, it is going to be positive for one very key reason, and that's basically XRP is going to have clarity. No matter which way this goes, XRP is going to have the clarity that it needs. And if the US are the only ones in the world that say it's a security, it's not going to go down well for them. I mean, yeah, it's going to be funny. Guys, I guess we need to leave this on a bit of a positive note, don't we, Chris? So let's take a look at the chart here. Right, this is what happened, right? So let's take a look, right? This is the 4 hourly. Let's pull this into the daily, right? So, and then just pull this up nice and close so we can see. Now, yesterday, when, it was a red candle anyway, so I don't think it was plummeting at that point. Obviously, the news came out at some point yesterday towards the end of the day, and then obviously we got this nice red candle today. Now, this red line, the horizontal line that you see here, this is the support line that we've been talking about and testing for some time, right? We tested it recently on the 16th, and that falls in at 44 cents, 0.7, right? 0.7, so 44.07. And we did kind of go through there a little while ago, and we got as low, guys, as 41.5 cents, right? And that's basically that little level there. So we haven't exactly had the plummet that some people are trying to cause or talk about in terms of fear, right? Yes, we dropped below the support level here, and it would be really key to make sure that we get above this support level, in the coming days, to make sure that it can become support and not resistance. The last thing we want to do is kind of hit this level, come back down and then start trading in a downward trend. I don't think that's going to even happen. I think there's far too much buy-in pressure down here. So what I anticipate will most likely happen will be that we end up with basically coming back up here tomorrow and it flip into a support line again, and we just carry on as we were, right? Because one thing I'm still confident on, Chris, and correct me if you're not the same, I'm still confident that next year in 2021, XRP is going to be absolutely massive. We're still talking about those really high numbers, and we're going to be looking at upwards to $10 for XRP. And for me, that hasn't changed. We haven't seen any massive sell-off here that changes that course of action, at least not in my opinion. Okay, and if we just bring this back, right, if this was to be something massive, then I would expect us to be way down here, right back to where we were back in June or July, right? So even way back here, I would expect us to be in this kind of level if it was a massive sell-off, right? But we aren't at that level. We're still way up here. So I'm pretty comfortable, Chris, I have to say. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, for me, I'm not concerned. I kind of feel a lot of people are. I just kind of feel like it's noise rather than news. Look, most of Ripple's business is outside of the US, right? And yeah, it would be wonderful for adoption if the US would actually kind of line up with the rest of the world, right? US is supposed to be, in their words, the leaders.
Mm-hmm. They're definitely losing the pace on that, aren't they?
Yeah, but to say they're losing the pace, and we do joke a little bit at the start of the video that calling it a bit of a circus, and it really is a circus. All they're doing is hurting themselves. It doesn't make sense to me in the slightest, with the amount of money that they're printing, the amount of debt that the US is in. It feels like it's a lot to do with control. This is an American company. Yeah, it is just a circus, and it's not a security. It isn't a security. So if they want to go down the route that they're going down, which it looks like they're going down, I kind of feel like they're going to have egg on their face at the end of it. I can't see anything but a Ripple win if it goes to court, based on what we know, right? And we're not anyway or by any stretch of the imagination fully in the know, right? Only Ripple and SEC are, really.
Yeah, ultimately, it's we do joke and we laugh about it because I find it quite funny. You're right. It's only going to hurt America and Americans in the long run. But if they should be getting ahead of this, they shouldn't be trying to change the rest of the world's opinion or approach to it. And it just feels like there's just corruption in certain areas, Jay, he's done this deliberately just because he can in the last hours of his position, right before he steps down. That's ultimately what it is, in my opinion. It's just levels of spitefulness, corruption, and a few others, because it makes zero sense to hurt. You hurt yourself, and why would you do it? It's not going to affect anyone else around the world. We're going to continue as we are. So it's an interesting one.
Yeah, and the other thing is, you've got Bank of America, Ripple partner. You've got banks building CBDCs. What, on a security? I don't think so. Across the world, 350 banks. And we know that they've been in contact. Building their CBDCs. On the XRPL. I just, for me, it is just a circus, and it's one of those things. Is it a fake out? To me, it looks like one on the face of it.
Yeah, definitely.
With serious consequences, and it's I guess like what we say, Nick. There's winners and there's losers, right? So there's people selling because they can't afford to lose the money, and they're seeing thousands and thousands of dollars or pounds or whatever currency it is that they're using disappearing in their investment portfolio, right? Some of those people, have overstretched themselves and they can't afford to lose that sort of money, right? And it's those people that this is hurting, because there'll be others that are winning, that are buying it up, buying the fear, as I call it. And this is all, my opinion, not financial advice. But those are the potential winners here, right? Buying it cheap, and then it's going to take off. My opinion.
Absolutely. So guys, we'll leave you with that. You do what's best for yourselves. Obviously, in this situation, it can be scary. We are quite calm and collected about it. We try to be non-emotional, just kind of take it as it is, black and white. We are still up here, pretty close to the support line, and I'm pretty confident it's going to flip. Obviously, it is resistance at the minute, and I'm sure it'll flip back to support. I'm pretty comfortable in that, but do assess the situation yourselves. Do your own research into it, and figure out if you're comfortable holding XRP or not comfortable holding XRP. Everyone's entitled to their own opinions in this. For me and Chris, we're perfectly comfortable holding XRP, and if it does go down, then Chris, as the captain, will go down with his ship, and I will go down with mine, and that will be it. But ultimately, I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's going to be prosperous times in 2021 for XRP, and the big positive out of all of this is we're going to get that clarity, guys. So I'll leave you with that. And if you do find it useful, go ahead and smash that like button for Chris. He really does appreciate it. And if you're new to the channel, do go ahead and subscribe. By subscribing, you will be kept up to date with all the videos and live streams that we do here on Cheeky Crypto. And with all that said, we hope you have a fantastic day, and we'll catch you in the next one.
Yeah, super. Take care, everyone.